Rise and shine, everybody. It's time to wake and bake with Craig Reed and Griff Martin.
The Stoned Roadie Show, podcast 296. Action. Alrighty there, fellow Stoned Roadie Nation. Looky here, looky here. It's St. Patrick's Day 2025, and it's Monday, March 17th. Wake and Bake the Morning Buzz, episode 166. My name's Craig Reed, a.k.a. the Stoned Roadie, and today you can call me the grumpy old man. I'll tell you that right now. And this is my co-host and the rocket scientist, Griff Martin. So what the heck are we going to talk about today besides me being a grumpy old man today there, Griff?
Well, I saw on Facebook the other day, TP said something about your skinny legs, and then I said something about your waterhead. And then TP said something else, and old Mike Estes was liking it, and so he must be back. Whenever you see old Mike Estes doing something on Facebook, he's must be feeling good again. I missed old Mike Estes, man. We need to give him a call. He's one of the coolest guys I think we've ever had on. You know, he's got a great way about him. That's just something that I noticed. And then Craig, you got a bit of a hangover today, huh?
Yeah. I got me another big old bag of weed for free too, for you people that are on my shit about getting free shit and not sending out your dang prizes and me being an inconsiderate bastard. So I'm going to sit here and roll me up a big old fat one and smoke it right here in front of you. And it's some good shit too, buddy, I tell you what. So, yeah, that's all I got.
Well, you guys saw the Saturday night special with Donald Johnson. Came over and got his gifts in person. And Craig said, hey, man, if you guys want these gifts faster than I get them to you, then come over and get them. So how else, what you can't go around that one. That's a pretty good solution right there. If you want it faster, come get it. An invitation to the Stoned Roadie's house if you're a winner. So just call, send Craig an email, send him a text. Hey, man, I'm coming to get my gift. Just make sure you bring him a bag of weed or something.
He was number 76, I think, and he was one of the first winners. Him and Wheelchair Chuck, I think. We ain't heard from Wheelchair Chuck in a while. I think he was number 1, and then I think Donald was number 2 or 3 or something like that.
Well, hell, it might be 2 or 3 of them dead by now.
I bet they still voted though.
So you're going to have to find their first of kin to give them their prize.
Yeah, they're going to have to prove they're in the will to get them.
And then, a very disturbing email to Craig from Dave the Disciple. Craig wasn't going to show it to me, but I made him. And I read that email, and I'm a little disappointed in old Dave, man. We know that Craig's delinquent on the prizes, and I'm getting a coin too. So I didn't get my damn coin either. I'm lucky if I send Craig a check for something and he cashes the damn thing. I'll be looking at my freaking checkbook for 3 months, and I'll call him, Craig, man. Oh, I lost it, or some shit like that. What people forget is Craig is a plane crash survivor too. So, people forget. Yeah, Craig's collecting money for the plane crash survivors. Well, he happens to be one. So, I'm not gonna judge the guy. But Craig, it'd be a lot easier if you just get the shit out, man. People won't be
Well, Dave's not actually a prize winner, but he did actually get some stuff off of me on eBay that he did pay a lot of money for. And he sent a bunch of stuff that I was supposed to send back to him, and I was going to send this stuff from eBay that he bought off of me at the same time, and I just haven't done it. And he's got a right to be pissed off. Everybody's got a right to be pissed off, but.
Well, yeah, but he says that there was no corresponding with him in the whole time that he was doing things for the survivors in the podcast. He said he did all of these things, and there was no correspondence, and that's not true. I mean, we plugged the guy's business. We told how great he was. We came up with a name, Dave the Disciple, because we thought how great he was. I mean, how much more correspondence do you need, man? And then the other thing too is why you got to be a baby about it, just walk away, and then he mentions politics when you start talking about politics and religion and things. And well, if you don't want to watch it, you don't like politics, you want to go stick your head in the sand and pretend that the world doesn't exist and people aren't trying to kill you, man, that's your prerogative. Good luck with it, though. And I just don't like that all these other people that won prizes and things are barely really even complaining. They're just joking about it, So they're not even sensitive, and they're not even considered disciples, really. But I think we need to consider them disciples.
Well, so. I told him he follows me on eBay and buys stuff off of me. And I said, quit buying stuff off of me. If you see something I got, I'll send it to you for free. And there's about 3 or 4 things that I'm sending him for free that were very expensive. And he's going to get them, But, man, I tell you what, I had an outfit all picked out for today. I have an Ireland soccer jersey that I was going to wear on St. Patrick's Day. And I put that thing away so there's no way I could possibly freaking lose it. And I could wear it today. And I'll be a son of a bitch if the damn gremlins didn't come and steal that son.
You can't find it, huh?
I've been looking for that son of a bitch. And you know what? As soon as we get done with this podcast, I'll get up and trip over that son of a bitch and fall and break my freaking nose. It's, oh, God. I can't do freaking nothing right, man.
These chemtrails, man, they're the brain barriers all being, the blood-brain barriers all being destroyed, man. And, and then all the stuff they're putting in our food, or it could be, something you drank or some drug you smoked or something. Who knows?
It could be something I drank. That's for that. I woke up at 2:00 this morning. Oh my God.
There's so many things it could be.
I had to rip off all my clothes. I was broke. I was in a cold sweats. I had to get up. I thought I was going to drive the porcelain bus. Yeah. Oh God, I was so sick, and I drank some.
You're not 19 years old anymore. You're not in the Skynyrd band running around traveling the world and seeing how much you can. You got to stop, man. You're going to end up.
Me and Don, man, we sat here and drank. He got here at 11 and didn't leave till like 10 at night, and yeah, that's 11 hours we sat here and partied, and had a good time. But oh God,
well, you're paying for it now.
Oh man, Kathy Godsey called me about 4:00. Well, I talked to her last night right before I went to bed. She goes, I saw where you tagged me, where you did a Saturday night special. And I'm going, why are they doing a Saturday night special? Why is he doing a Saturday night special without me? And then she said, I started watching it. She goes, and she messaged me, she goes, you're wasted. I goes, no shit.
I've seen you worse on a podcast. Yeah. That wasn't
and she
nothing.
called me. she called me about 4 o'clock today, and she goes, "How you feeling?" I go, "Oh God, is it this? I got to get up and start getting ready to do this stupid podcast. You know, I got to
Um,
find that stupid shirt I got to wear. I couldn't find that. I'm so dang irritated.
well,
But
everybody got to see all the things that are going to be mailed to them. At least they got to take a look at the package that they're getting. And Craig has broken the seal on the packages. He's got his first one out. So there you go, man. That's a step in the right direction.
yeah.
Now, if
I
you
got
want to get it
everything
any
organized,
faster,
and now it's even more organized because I got now I know exactly what I got to send out. Everybody's seen what they're getting, and then I actually added that picture with me sitting on my Mercedes out there, and because I Dave. In Dave Disciples defense, he sent me a big old stack of those damn things, and
well,
I,
the guy, he was great, man. He was sending, I couldn't believe. I was like, man, this is the coolest. I mean, he was like sending packages. I was like, man, what is this? Big banners, all kinds of posters and things, and
oh, he spent a lot of money on shipping and
yeah,
stuff.
but
Yeah, I don't
I
want to diss the
mean,
guy at all, man.
yeah, but and then you do that, and then you turn around and you ruin it by just being a baby. But hey, he's not watching. He says he's not watching this anymore, so I ain't worried about him seeing it.
I don't believe that.
But he did wish
I
you
don't
well.
blame him. I don't blame him for giving up on social media. I'm about to do the same damn thing. I tell
Well,
you.
you're right about this dimension that we're in, man, because it's definitely one I don't recognize. I think I was happier not knowing they were trying to kill us. Is what I think. I think I figured that out. Sometimes it's best not to know things, and just like Sergeant Schultz. I know nothing, and that's the best way to be. It's just,
I
but
saw the astronauts got up there and rescued those people. Ain't it odd, or ain't it weird, or suspicious, or whatever that woman that her hair is always sticking straight up in the freaking air with hairspray, and that one woman astronaut got on the space thing, and her hair's all flying around. It ain't sticking straight up in the freaking air. And the woman that her hair's always sticking straight up in the air, her hair's flying around. And yes,
why don't they put it in a
something's weird.
ponytail or something? I think they like to spray it and tease it up to make it look like they're really up there.
Oh, and they're all going, "Oh, look at my hair! Oh, it's sticking straight! Oh, what a bunch! I don't get it, man. And it's like they're just sticking it in your face. Hey, look at here, you stupid freaking idiots! It's like back in '66 when they faked the moon landing. Oh, look at this! Look! Oh God! Well, all them. Oh, whatever. Whatever.
Well, it's kind of
We lost
strange.
the technology. Once we went to the moon, we destroyed the technology. Now we can't get back.
Well,
Yeah.
if there's not really a space station and they're pretending to launch pretend rescue astronauts to some pretend stranded astronauts, and Trump knows about it, then he's just a freaking asshole as Biden.
Well, it's inside the firmament, I mean, all that shit's inside the firmament, I
Well, I
guess.
think a lot of what you see on the space station is just like what they do it's a fake Oval Office. It's a fake White House. It's a fake, and they just use it as a stage. And they are liars, and so they probably do have a fake space station and a real one, because I did see every piece of that station get launched, and I've seen it in the clean room. I've seen the different pieces of it. I mean, I was working out there the entire time that space station was assembled, disassembled, launched, and reassembled. And I've been working in those clean rooms, and I saw the actual with my own two eyes and the space shuttles that took them up. So it's a little bit hard to say there's not a space station, but I don't believe that everything that I'm seeing filmed that they're saying is a space station is truly up there in space.
In Trump's defense, if he was to actually tell people the truth, a lot of people couldn't handle it.
No, they wouldn't.
They want to stay inoculate or whatever.
Brainwashed.
Yeah, they want to stay brainwashed. They don't want to know the truth. They oh no, we will. We believe all that stuff. You know, it's really weird. I don't know. I'm too stupid to comment on that stuff, but you know.
Well, we got a lot. We got our normal. Of course, it is Monday, and Craig's got a hangover, so we're going to try to knock this out. But we got our normal comments and some questions here, and we'll go ahead and get into those.
Well, I guess you got one thing. While Donald Johnson was here, we were watching TV, and Ricky Medlock was on Ted Nugent's Spirit of the Wild, and he was talking. Ricky doesn't live in Jacksonville. He lives down in South Florida, and he was talking about down there in the Everglades about how the snakes, the big snakes, have taken over down there.
Oh yeah, those pythons and those iguanas.
They're eating people's pets and all kind of stuff, and they're taking over, and they're eating all the dang wildlife and stuff, and it's a real problem. And I guess when they had that the hurricane or whatever down there in oh God, wherever that was down there in South Florida, where they had the animal rescue place, that place got destroyed, and all those snakes got loose. And now it's just those things are all over the place down there, and yeah, they're really causing a lot of problems down there. And the state of Florida doesn't seem to. The governor down there doesn't want to seem to acknowledge the problem. So, but yeah, Ted was talking about how great Ricky's guitar playing was, and everybody acknowledges, Ricky's guitar playing and stuff like that. So, people on here that kind of diss Ricky, and what he's doing and stuff, it's just like, he's a great guy, man. I'll
have to go back and watch that one. I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
Is that the latest one?
I believe it is. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was really talking big about Ricky and Michael Cartellone, Michael Cartellone was in the damn Yankees too, yeah.
Right. He says that they stole his drummer. That's what they said. He says. They said, yeah, when they stole my drummer, which he's just kidding. But I'm sure if he needs him back for something, he can borrow him.
Well, Michael has gone out and done things for the damn Yankees, I guess. I wasn't around. I guess after I left, the damn Yankees did a little reunion, and Michael went with them, with Tommy Shaw and all them, the original.
Yeah, the damn Yankees. That's another one that had really. I actually think I saw them too somewhere. But yeah, that's a great sound that they had. That I guess they only did like one album, Craig, or something.
Oh, I don't know. I think I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh, this is the first thing I've smoked since yes. The first thing I've did since yesterday. Oh,
some good stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's go ahead and dive into some of these comments here. And right off the bat, you remember the $1.50 in the Snickers bar?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Reldon figured it out. Reldon, I believe, is the guy. Says, yeah, it's Gary offered Ricky Medlock $1.50 in a Snickers bar if he would come back to the band.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what that was all about. And if we had a contest, Reldon, you'd have won it, but you'd have been promised something and you didn't get. So we ain't gonna have any until Craig gets off his ass. And I think that makes 3 people that have disassociated themselves with us because of that situation. So that makes 3 people. So
That's all right.
so yeah.
As long as I still get big old jars of weed and
Yeah, you know, and bricks of
all
hash,
this free stuff, you know.
free soap,
Yeah.
and whiskey and
Oh God, yeah.
vodka and bags of weed and just it
I
keeps
get
getting,
more people staying than leaving, so
yeah. So you guys just, you know, keep
I,
rewarding him for his bad behavior.
I got 5 wives that left me, but I got 2 dogs that love me, so that's all I need.
Yeah, even though Craig was yelling at him before we got on the air here, and he's like, "There, you son of a bitch," you know. And then he goes, and then I said, "Craig, there might be a reason why he ain't coming because you're yelling at him, you know." And then finally he sneaks in here and he goes, "Get up here, you son of a bitch!" And then he grabs him and he goes, "Good dog." They call that rapid cycling bipolar, and there's medication for that too. They do have other than weed. There's other things that you could take, but
Oh, my
then
dogs
you wouldn't be Craig anymore though. If you started taking something for that, you wouldn't be Craig anymore. Then we were talking last week. You were saying something about Ricky Medlock's sound and his voice sounding better than Ronnie's, and that might be why Ronnie didn't want him in the band. And then Brian KG says Ronnie's voice was perfect for his type of storytelling. Listen
I agree.
to Saturday Night Special and on I guess that was maybe at what's that show Whistle Test Saturday, was Saturday Night Special on that? But yeah, he says, and tell me somebody could have sang that better. No, Ronnie, you know, it's like he wrote the songs and's got the voice with the song. You can't separate those two. Nobody could ever sing Ronnie's songs and be better than him. They just could never
Well,
happen.
Ronnie couldn't have sang White Dove better than Ricky, though.
Well, Ricky sings his songs, Ronnie sings
Yeah.
his songs, you know.
But at the time when they were first starting, White Dove was one of the first songs. I mean, that was when they went into Muscle Shoals. White Dove was one of the songs.
Oh,
You know?
yeah? Okay.
Yeah. So Ronnie was like, "Boom."
Well, he's my
That's
opinion.
my opinion. You know, my opinion. My opinion's like assholes. Everybody's got one.
But, you know, Ricky did go on to have Blackfoot and everything, but it's not like he's a major star, a major rock star. So,
Well, Ted Nugent acknowledges him. You know.
I mean, whenever you go and you say, hey, who's the top 50 rock stars of all time? Would Ricky be in that? I think Ronnie would.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he would, but there's a lot of pretty talented people. Not saying he's not talented. Like I said, I like Blackfoot, and I'd like to go see that new band of his, and also the APB band. There's a couple things I'm really wanting to do. Then Ronnie says, Griff, don't get butt hurt, but that hat should not be fixed. It has historical value. Well, I think I'm the one who told Craig not to fix it once I found out whose hat it was. And I told Craig, I said, Craig, man, he was going to glue it back with Elmer's glue. And I said, man, don't do that. That hat needs to stay like that. Didn't I, Craig?
Yeah, that beaver skin's real porous, and all you need is just a couple of drops of Elmer's on there, and it would stick right together. Oh, but while we're on that subject, Cousin Figel, and I forgot about it because I'm hungover. Cousin Figel actually sent a picture of that hat with Huey wearing it in 1994 when he first started with the band, and he said something about.
Where's the picture?
I don't have it with me. Cousin Figel sent it to me. I'll put it up next week. But Cousin Figel said that Huey actually mentioned that his hat had a slice in it, and Craig was getting him a new hat.
No shit.
Yeah, he said.
Where's that on a recording somewhere?
He had a picture of when Cousin Figel went and got that guitar signed by all the Skynyrd guitar that he bought off of Judy at the auction.
Yeah.
In '94, when he went to see Skynyrd, Huey was with him, and he was talking to Huey, and I guess they were talking about his hat, and he goes, "Yeah, it's got a slice in it right here, but Craig's getting me a new one." He said he remembers that. Yeah.
Oh, that's
But
funny.
you can't see the hat real good. And it's got a band on it that I don't really recognize, but yeah.
Yeah,
He identified the hat.
I'm looking at that hat that you have there behind you on your green screen, and that looks like something Leon would want to wear. That one that
It does, the top hat. Yeah,
doesn't it?
yeah.
Leon would love to have a hat like that on.
Oh, for sure.
On
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day, and he'd be wearing that son of a bitch. You know he would. That would.
Oh,
be
yeah. That's what
hilarious.
pisses me off about not being able to find that stupid shirt. I got a cool damn Ireland soccer jersey. As cool as shit would look perfect today, but of course I can't find it.
But you can't wear anything that's green because the screen will.
Well, it's a different color green now. It's
Oh.
a darker green than. It's just a certain color greens that'll. Like this shirt's got green in it, but and this hat's green.
Yeah, I can
But
see
you
the
can see
screen
the,
going through the
But the
shamrock.
the shamrock there, as you can see, that's discombobulating a little bit.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you've been to Ireland, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a different place, man. When I was there, I was in Waterford there for a little while, staying with my ex-wife was doing her clinicals for medical school, and I tell you what, those are some really nice people, but you don't want to piss them off, man.
Oh, I love those Irish pubs, boy.
Oh,
They live
man.
up to their reputation, boy.
Yeah.
But their beer's hot. They don't have they don't, or they didn't when I was over there.
No,
The
they
beer's
keep it.
warm.
Yeah, they keep it in the basement, and I guess they just pump it up, tap it up through the basement. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
warm beer. I mean, but
They gave me this stout, and they were all. I noticed everybody in there was staring at me, and I was like, okay, they're setting me up for something. And I tried to take a. They were all looking at me, and I took a drink of that, and I almost threw up off of a sip. That's how nasty that shit was. And then this guy comes over and he goes, "What's wrong? You can't drink it?" And I said, "No." I said, "Man, I said, you guys set me up." And he goes, "Well, you're not going to waste it, are you?" And I said, "I'm not going to drink it." And he goes, "Well, get out of the way. It's all mine." And he took it and he just downed it. And then they said, "Bring him something he can drink." And they brought me something that wasn't much better, and I had to force that down. And then by the time I finished it, I was stumbling around out in the street.
Oh yeah, a pint of that shit'll put a pint of that
Yeah.
damn their beer will do it. Yeah.
But they're the type of people, like, if you said to one of them, "Hey man, I don't like the way you're doing something, and they'll go, okay, well, let's go take it outside then. That's how they are. If
Yeah.
if you don't like something, they'll go, all right, well, I'll see you outside in a minute, and we'll see who's going to win this argument. That's how they are. They're all about the fist fight.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with the guy over there wearing a dress.
Yeah,
Skill.
like when Gene Odom was at this bar and these bikers came in with kilts on, and then right then, old Jimmy Withers, he said, "Oh shit, we're in trouble now." Gene goes up to one of them and says something about his dress. Jimmy said he couldn't. He was looking to see which is the closest door. Just about like Ronnie, give me 3 steps. But Steve Jones, he says, Craig, why didn't Ronnie take Blackfoot under his wing like he did some of the other bands? And he mentioned Marshall Tucker Band, CDB, and the Outlaws, but Marshall Tucker Band and CDB, they didn't need any help from Ronnie.
No, Marshall Tucker. Lynyrd Skynyrd opened for Marshall Tucker.
Yeah.
I mean, Marshall Tucker already had a name when Skynyrd was.
But how come Ronnie didn't take Blackfoot? Was they
were
kind
there.
of like came after, didn't they? They weren't around the same time, were they?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Alan and Ronnie and Gary. I don't know. They. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Some of you guys, you can go in there and figure out the time frames. Just go look and see when it was that Blackfoot first came out versus hell, for all I know, it could have been 74, 75 for all I know. But it seems like to me it was later. But I didn't do any homework on that. I like to let the subscribers do all the homework. So put it in
I
the
don't know the
comments for us.
situation between Ronnie and Ricky. I know they talked high. They talked good about Ricky. I mean, all of them always did. I never heard any of them say anything bad about Ricky.
Yeah.
No.
I had heard that Ricky wasn't feeling the love in Lynyrd Skynyrd. I mean, he wasn't like, he was kind of like not like Ed King. Knew there was some abuse going on, and I imagine Ricky probably just wasn't.
Well, Ronnie was at either my way or the freaking highway, and Ricky didn't. I guess he wasn't.
Just like Larry Junstrom, the same thing. He didn't, had the same kind of feeling Larry had, maybe. So either you liked it or you didn't. Either you liked to take orders from Ronnie or you didn't. But if you wanted to get somewhere and succeed, Ronnie, man, he could write some songs and sing. So you just had to suck it up. Then Steve Jones, he asked, Craig, when you were riding around with Alan and Gary, did they ever listen, riding around in the car with them, did they ever listen to their own music on the radio?
No, not really. No.
No? Like, you weren't ever sitting in the car with them and a Skynyrd song came on and you guys started laughing about it or bullshit?
No, they never.
It,
We never really put in any Skynyrd music and sit there and listen to the album or nothing. It was.
Do you ever remember being somewhere like with Alan or Gary and like in a
if it would
store?
come on the radio, they would listen to it. But as far as putting on, if it would come on the radio, they would turn it up and listen.
What would they do? Would they comment on? Yeah, I remember
listen to it. They would
Gary,
be, real proud that their stuff was being played on the radio. But they didn't put it in and listen to it, by themselves. But if it would come on, they would turn it up. Yeah.
Were you ever like sitting somewhere with Ronnie and one of his songs came on and he said, "Hey, there's, Sweet Home"?
Not that I remember. No.
Yeah, that's kind of people that are fans. That's the kind of shit they like to hear. You know, like
When
I'll
Ronnie
tell
and
you.
I were in the car, we wouldn't really have, if the radio was on, it'd be on real low, but we were just sit there and bullshit.
Yeah.
He
I
wasn't.
guess,
He'd rather talk to some. Ronnie was a talker. He wasn't one just to sit in the car and look out the window and stuff. If somebody was sitting there, he liked to sit there and have a conversation with you.
oh, he would be bullshitting with you, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Sitting in the boat and stuff. Yeah, he was always talking and
I
stuff.
used to hear like Ronnie, he kind of knew whether or not somebody was a bullshit artist the first time he laid eyes on him or not, and he could tell if he didn't like you right away. You ever notice like if somebody came in, they were standing around bullshitting, and Ronnie was giving them the stink eye, like, I don't like you, son of a bitch. You ever see any of that?
Not that I recall. Not
No.
that I recall.
Well, I imagine a lot of it's so old you can't hardly remember
There's so many
everything.
other things that over top of that. I don't remember all that other
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah, I imagine that there's a lot of people that were just trying to hang around that, just like groupie type people that you guys were trying to get rid of all the time. Uh, but then again, you if they hung around too much, you put them to work. Yeah, that's pretty much how they got their road crew, but their groupie friends and stuff, Dean Kilpatrick and you, that's
No,
how they started, with all their friends, kind of like Zach Lane, his band, they got a little couple guys that are roadies that they call whenever it's time. That one big guy, I forget his name, and they use the same guys to help them out. If they ever need some help, there's always somebody around. I mean, I helped them load in and load out before, and I kind of enjoy that, as long as I'm not doing it all the time. I used to help Joe with his drums. I used to enjoy that, and then helping Six Gun out. Uh, and let me see. I think that might have been Steve Jones again. Said both times he saw Artemis, he came to the merch table, and if it's not Steve, apologize. And he said within 10 minutes after Freebird, he would go over to the merch table and start greeting everyone in line, whether they bought anything off the merch table or not.
yeah.
Yeah, I heard he was pretty good about that, but there's a lot of people that spend a lot of time with artists like Kent Griffith, and he told me, man, a lot of stories about Artie, and they spend a lot of time together. But Artie's got a hot temper, man. He can be pissed off, and he can also forget you just as fast as he met you. That's how Kent said. He said, man, he'll just forget you. He said you could spend 5 years with Artemis and then see him 2 years later, and he'll look at you like, who are you? Maybe it's a selective memory. And
Well,
Kimmy says, uh, Craig, my dogs go to the door when they hear the doorbell on the TV. Do your dogs, she says, Craig, are your dogs mentally ill too?
oh yeah. My dogs hear a doorbell on TV. Yeah. Rah, 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 rah. Oh yeah. I'll say, you stupid bastards, that's the
Do
TV.
you have a doorbell at your house?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I'm saying if you don't
It
have one
goes
at your house,
ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. That's the back door, but the front door just goes ding dong.
but they raise
Well, I
hell
know
no
the
matter what
difference.
they hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
All
front door
dogs.
goes ding dong, and the back door goes ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. So you know
That's the
the
thing about a dog, they
difference.
just instinctively want to guard. If they hear something like, a knock on the door or a doorbell or somebody's walking in front of the house, they just going to raise hell, man. They got to guard that territory no matter what. Uh, but what's funny is those little dogs that got that attitude. like I remember my little Jack Russell Terrier one time attacked this Doberman, and the Doberman was looking at him like, you got about 5 seconds, and I'm getting ready to snatch you up. And he was being real patient. He was lifting his feet and everything. And I think I grabbed my dog just in time. But those little Jack Russells, those little terriers, they and Chihuahuas, they have no clue. They think they're just a badass, no matter how big they are.
I've got it. I got it marked on my UPS stuff to leave the packages at the front porch because it's covered. But if it wasn't for my dogs, I wouldn't know that the package was on the back porch in the rain.
Which leads me to a story. I remember when I mailed Craig his copy of the Hell House painting, and that thing's huge. It's like a 3x4 or something, isn't it, Craig?
It's, yeah.
And Craig and I called Craig and I said, "Hey man," I says, "Did you get the package?" And he goes, "No." And I said, "Well, it says it delivered. It's delivered." And you said, "I'm telling you, I didn't get it." I said, "Hey man," I said, "I'm just, telling you that the freaking thing says it's delivered. So you need to go check again." So he goes and he goes, "It's still not there." And I was like, damn, I'm wondering, because I didn't hardly know Craig too well then, and, he was like, had a little short temper there. So he calls me later and he says, "Yeah, they put it on the back porch. It was probably back there for a couple days."
Well, they leave stuff downstairs by the garage. I mean, you can tell that door don't even get used, and they'll leave it right down there by that door.
Well, they think that they're going to the Silence of the Lambs house, man. They don't realize that, they don't know that you could, what you need is a couple moths flying around out there.
I'll pull out of the garage and I'll look at the back door, down the back door down there, and I go, "There's a package there."
Yeah. And then Kimmy, she says that they stole your damn gator, or you wouldn't have to walk down there. She remembers they stole your gator, and So yeah, and Kimmy she commented probably at least 80 times on there, and thanks
So
for
when
the
I
comments, Kimmy.
I rode my electric scooter down to the mailbox one time, and there was some woman come by jogging, and she saw me ride my electric scooter down to get the mail, and she goes, "You're ridiculous."
You still have an electric scooter?
Yeah.
You do? What kind of scooter is it? It's like a.
It's just I had it when I was a stagehand up at the stagehand union. It's one you can fold up and put in your trunk, and then you fold it up and put the handlebars up, and then
How long does it go on a charge?
It goes 18 miles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it'll run 18. It goes 18 miles an hour, and it'll go for 8 miles. No, maybe 8 miles.
Yeah, I was about to say 18
miles.
miles.
It goes about eight. I don't know.
That sounds more
It
like
goes 18 miles an hour.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't think it'd go 18. Probably it's 20 years old, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting pretty old.
Yeah, but they got these ones now, man, that they're pretty damn good. I don't really want to get one though because it's just lazy.
I want one of those electric bicycles, man. One of the new ones. They're cool.
Okay, well, you'll get one.
They go 55 mile an hour in there.
You'll get one next week if you just keep mentioning it.
Shit, they cost about almost $6,000, I think, for the real good ones.
Yeah, there's a lot of down in the Keys. They rent that because I got one down there and rode it around, and it didn't go very far, man. That's one thing about them is that when they die, and you're done, and you got to pedal. So you're all the time trying to save energy, because when they die, they're done, and they die fast.
They rent them down in the Akron City, And I guess you put your credit card in them or whatever.
Yeah, and then you just when they run and when you're done, you just leave them on the side of the
leave
road.
'em. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
I guess they
crazy.
got a GPS in them. They
Well,
just,
when we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they were there too, just like that. Remember when you and when John, Neil, and you and I went there?
Mhm.
That's the first thing I noticed was all those electric scooters laying all over the place. Yeah. And Ronnie Griff, if you sell that PV amp, it will cost $150 to ship it. Anyway, I have an original PV Mace amp head from the 70s for sale, 160 watts, four input plugs, and a 6L6 tubes. I know Skinner had a two input, but I believe they also used a four input. Well, the guy
Yeah, the
that
four
wanted to,
input was series. It was what were the four? One of them was series. It was I don't remember. Yeah,
well, the guy that thought it was a PV Mace might buy that from you. Um,
yeah.
you
It's
know,
got the 6L6s in it.
yeah, those,
I wonder where they're made. China must be Chinese or tubes. They don't make tubes here anymore.
I hope they start, well, because I hear they don't make like even ibuprofen. They make all that stuff in China. And I need me a good ibuprofen every now and then. I'm sure you needed one this morning,
I
Craig.
wouldn't need anything like that. I don't need that kind
No,
of stuff.
you
No.
don't take aspirin.
No, no. Well, every once in a while, I have eaten an aspirin when I felt like I was going to have a heart attack. I've chewed on an aspirin. No, I got up this morning and ran to the store and got some chocolate milk and ice cream and made a big milkshake.
That was always your
That used to
go-to
be my
remedy.
hangover medicine. Yeah,
Yeah,
milkshake. But
that's why you
all the
got
milkshakes
fat.
they make now anymore are all artificial. So I went and got some good ice cream and good chocolate milk.
I think it's Haagen-Dazs is the only real ice cream that you can get. I might be wrong about that, but the rest of them, you bring them home and you can set them on the counter and it don't melt.
Oh no, mine melt. I think mine was Perry's. It was the most expensive they had. I don't know. It was about
Yeah.
$8 for a half
See,
a.
when you were drinking all the time and you needed a milkshake all the time, that's what made you fat.
I don't have to worry about it. I can eat a
I
half
don't
a
know, man.
gallon.
You could still get fat again. Don't
Oh
ever,
well, yeah, it ain't gonna happen from a half a gallon of ice cream though.
no, never say never.
Hell, I haven't eat. That's all I've eaten all day is a damn milkshake and a banana.
Jerome Murphy asked Craig, were there any ramifications from Mick Jagger whenever those guys went out on the tongue at Neblo?
No. Uh-uh.
He never said anything.
No, the management's probably. Uh, well, Peter Rudge was Skinner's manager, and he was the Who's manager, and he was more or less kind of like the Rolling Stones manager, I think. He was, I don't know.
I wonder where did you hear the first time that you heard that Mick Jagger didn't like it? They went out on the tongue.
I don't know. Sometime after
Did you
after
ever
the
hear Ronnie talk about
couple
it?
of days after I don't remember. I don't remember. It just came up that yeah, they didn't like us out there, and Ronnie just laughed about it. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
That was just shit. That was
That's
shit,
one
that
of
kind of
those
shit just
things.
happened all the time. It didn't really make a indentation in my head.
Like if you ever go to like some kind of a historical place and they've got somebody there that's a tour guide, and they always have this story about something that happened there, and 90% of the time it's bullshit. Like I'll tell you a story one time whenever I had a S2000 Honda, and when I got ran over by the car, I couldn't get in and out of that thing anymore. And because it's a small little sports car. I might have had it when you came over. I don't know if I did or not, Craig. But anyway, so I took it down to the Honda place and I traded it and I got a good price. They gave me a really great price on the car, and they turned around and they put it in the showroom. They cleaned it up and it was a mint condition S2000. Only had like 28,000 miles on it. And they gave me a lot of money for it, and I got a good deal on another car. Well, I was over there looking at my S2000 in the showroom. The salesman comes up and he goes, "That's a nice car, isn't it?" And I go, "Yeah, yeah, it's a nice car." And he goes, "Let me tell you a story about this car." And I go, "Okay, go ahead." And he goes, "The guy that traded it in was actually weeping. He was actually crying that he had to sell this car, and they had to help him out of here because he had some medical issues, and he just couldn't hardly part with his baby." And so then this other sales guy comes over and he goes, "Hey man, I see your car out here on the showroom floor. We cleaned her up for you." And the guy looked at me and I went, "You lying sack of shit." Yeah, they make up all kinds of shit. So my Nebworth thing might even be total bullshit for all we know.
I don't know. I just heard that that they knew they weren't supposed to go out there, and we all knew it. But me and Joe, we knew that Ronnie was going to go out there. We all the crew guys, all of us. Well, it was just me and Joe and Kevin, but we all knew that Ronnie was going to go down that freaking tongue. So me and Joe got together and made and got the chords and made one long enough for Alan to make it all the way down, and Steve and Gary, and then we didn't have enough for Leon.
Yeah, Joe said that he ran out of cord. He said
and Joe said I could have hobnobbed it and put a 1/4-inch plug in there and then taped it all together. He said, but I didn't want to do that. But
if anybody wants to see that interview where Joe talks about the chord and Leon and everything, it's on the Whitey's Celebration of Life when I interviewed Joe Barnes about that Nebworth, and he tells the whole story about that.
Well, Joe Barnes had a certain way that he made chords. He used the chords, but he used the shielded cord. It had 2 wires in the middle and then the shielding around it, and he would ground the ground and the shield together at the amp where you plug it in, but down at the guitar, the shield wasn't grounded to the black wire, so it was. I guess I don't know why he did that, but I helped him. I helped him
have
make
something
those chords.
to do with feedback that you didn't want or something.
No, I think it was just buzz. I don't know. He just thought that
the buzz noise.
I just think he thought the shielding around it kept down on the hiss, or what made it quieter or whatever. I don't know. He's an electrician. I'm not. But but I remember helping him make chords for that gig. Yeah.
Oh, John Rafferty says Artimus Pyle is the sweetest person I've ever seen. Anytime I've been around him, or a few times I was around him. Once it was at Ronnie Van Zant Park. The guy still feels the pain. Yeah, there's a lot of people that Artimus has been pretty cool to, but there's also a lot of people that they've seen his temper.
I didn't wake up and hear all those people screaming, and then have to run for help, and then to hear gunfire and go through all that kind of shit. I heard, the plane was going down. It went twish, twish, twish. When it hit the top of the trees, it went bang, bang, bang. And I woke up in the hospital. All those other people had to go through all that, hearing people screaming, and then I remember nothing about getting hauled out of that field, or, I mean, I when we went down there, I couldn't. That's a long ways back there, man. I'm going, how in the hell did they find us back here? I can't imagine doing that at nighttime. It would be freaky.
Yeah.
It would be freaky, man. I never went through any of that shit. I don't even remember how I got to the hospital. I think it was in a helicopter. I don't even know.
I think what most people on that story, an Artemis tells it, he acts like he was the only one that was going for help, and I know that, Kenny Peden and of course Mark Frank have both, mentioned that to me, that he acts like he was the only one going for help.
Well, they
But
will admit that Artemis was the leader, that he was.
oh yeah, yeah, he
That's
definitely.
we got
Yeah.
to go, and they just kind of went with him. But
And
yeah, they were with.
I do believe that because,
No, they were with him. Yeah, for sure. Artemis was, he was a Marine. He was the one that was going, man, we got to go get. He knew what needed to happen, more
if
than
you
the
think
others.
about
So,
it, out of anybody that it could have been, Artemis would have been is the best one that
oh yeah, he said, man, this is what we need back there. This
yeah.
is what we need to help
He
these people. And Mark Frank and Kenny Peden went with him, which, I mean, back in there, when two people will, there's some shit back there you don't want to encounter at nighttime,
You don't want to go out there during the daytime.
I
It's
wouldn't want to be back there by myself.
yeah, there's
It's
some pretty
freaky
big
back there,
hogs
man.
back
At
there.
nighttime, damn, it's that's some dense forest back there. I don't know
Yeah.
how they even. They said they saw a light and went toward that light, and that's at the what's her name, the Grinstead.
No, that's the guy who's lost his place in North Carolina. No,
No,
that was
they said they saw light, a
yeah,
light.
that was over there at Brenda Martin. She's the one who they went to her house.
Yeah,
Brenda
yeah. Well,
Martin.
that's where the
Johnny Moats. Johnny
yeah
Moats and
that's where the monument site is, right there where
pretty
that
close,
house
right?
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you
they
know how
saw a
we
light. They saw a light right by the monument site, and they went over there to that house where the light was, and that's right. That's where the monument site is. So it's not. I always thought it was in a place that didn't really mean a lot, but that's where they went well, that's where Artemis and them went to when they got help, was where that light was, right there
well,
at
they
the
got lucky
at the site.
because they couldn't see the light from the plane crash. So the direction that they walked in was the right direction somehow. And
Oh wow.
because yeah, they because they crossed the creek, I think, first, and then that's when they saw the light. Which, if you go as the crow flies, it's not that far from the monument. But the way we went, we just couldn't go through that land because it was private property and we weren't allowed to go through that way. But it's not really that far from the monument. It's just the way that we went was the only way we could get in there, which is a long way around. But nevertheless, if anybody were to go back there, they would need a guide because you can't tell where that place is, man, just on your own. And Dwayne says there's people try to get back there all the time, try to figure out where it's at, and they get lost.
Well, there's
So,
wild pigs back there, and them pigs will kill your ass.
yeah, man, that's for sure. There's some mean pigs back there.
And snakes.
Yeah, and snakes. Um, Jerome Murphy. I would hate to see the Stone Roadie hang it up. Sometimes I ask some stupid questions, and Craig and Griff do their best to answer. But yeah, I guess he's because you were talking about hanging it up on the last podcast
Oh,
because
I'm
you were
talking
hacked
about
off.
backing off on it, man. We're getting, when I started this, the people want me to write a book. I said, no, I don't want to write a book, but I'll answer questions about Skinner stuff. And then we started doing that. Then we went off on other stuff, and then we started doing it 3 times a week. And man, I'm retired. I've been retired for 20 years. I don't need to do this scheduled stuff anymore. I don't mind doing them like once a week. And after I get all these prizes and all this stuff all straightened out, we're just gonna go back to doing it maybe on Wednesday or whatever. I don't mind doing that, but every other day is just too much, man. It's just too much for me. I just don't. And I want to make it more just Skynyrd stuff. But come on and just answer questions about Skynyrd related stuff, and that's it. We don't
Yeah,
need to,
so
we don't need to talk about politics or anything anymore. I mean, everything's supposedly getting back to normal, and I don't know nothing about politics. I just know that we had a bunch of corrupt bastards running things before.
oh, it's a war, and they're still trying to fight it. But
And I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know what's going on now. It's like,
I don't know. I don't know what to
you know,
believe, but I damn sure know one thing that there's some evil shit out there trying to attack us. That's a fact.
oh yeah.
Um, let me see here. Oh, David Hester says Artemis guitar player Scott Rains is a great guitar player. I have seen him do tutorials on YouTube, and he's really good. Yeah, he's also been to Ed King's house, and Ed showed him a lot of stuff. And that guy, yeah, he's a note for note guy, man. They're all good, great musicians in the APB band. Um, and then David says, I've always been an ass man. Boobs make a complete package. Craig was talking about last week about these women with these big double D boobs and how all it is nothing but just big fat bags. And I was saying, when I was a kid, the boobs couldn't get big enough, man. We liked them as big as we could get them, man. When I was,
Oh
like,
God,
15,
but women,
16.
women my age, freaking gravity has taken over.
Yeah, when you're young and you have like really big boobs, and that's just later on, it
They
ain't gonna
got
be
if they
good.
had double D's when they were 23, them things are down around her waist now.
Yeah, they're most likely had to get a boob reduction. Chad 9653 says, I like the way Griff disagrees with Craig when he thinks he's wrong. A good podcast would be when Craig and Griff disagree all the time. Yeah, okay. I'm sure it would be. And then Scooter Weed said that fat politician that we were trying to think of from New Jersey last podcast was Chris Christie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I forgot about that freaking Chris.
There's so many of them. God, there's so many obese politicians. My God.
Yeah, but that guy.
Oh yeah,
I,
he was ridiculous. Yeah, he was running for president.
yeah, and who would I don't know, man. He just I don't know what happened. Haven't seen him lately.
Oh
I guess
no.
he's not around, but I'm just glad Pelosi's out of there because she used to make me sick. Yeah, Pelosi. And then Jerome Murphy asks, "How is Gene? Haven't heard from him since the tackle box that Craig found." Yeah, I talked to him a couple days ago, and he's actually hasn't been getting any tours, and I haven't seen Gene stay at his house this long since I've known him. He's been at his house for now a couple weeks without leaving. I think he's just burned out, man. Maybe, he's just because for Gene not to be on the go, and he says he's just staying home waiting on a tour. So if anybody's wanting to take a tour right now, would be a good time. Nice cool weather,
Well,
if
what's his name? Eric. I gave
yeah,
him
I
his
sent.
number and we had at me. He goes, yeah, thanks. I got a tour scheduled with Gene.
Oh,
And
does he?
yeah, thanks. Yeah. So
Good,
yeah,
good.
cool.
Well,
But
that's
yeah,
good.
Donald yesterday he he says, "Man, I got to get a picture taken with Ronnie's tackle box."
Oh, that's pretty cool.
He went through all Ronnie's tackle box. He said he used to fish with one of those peel pocket
I
fishermen.
did too, man. I did too. I don't think I ever
He
caught
got
a
a kick
fish
out
on it,
of it.
but
Yeah.
matter of fact, I think I caught a brim on it or something, but yeah, it wouldn't be
You don't
much
have that
different.
thing locked in. That thing would where
Yeah.
it locks it. If you didn't have that locked in, if you'd pull back on it, that thing would bust loose, boy. He'd be
Uh,
screwed. You'd have to turn it around backwards and use it.
it's just funny that Ronnie had one of those, it just goes to show you he was a normal guy, he saw the commercial of the Peel pocket fisherman. He probably told Judy, order me one of those damn
Well,
things.
it's easy to travel with. If you went on an airplane, you can't take a fishing pole.
One thing I always thought about, and I've always told people that know Judy, that I say, man, tell Judy I would love to interview her, because regardless of somebody, if they don't like Judy or whatever, I'm going to tell you right now that if she's got some stories, you want to hear some stories
Yeah,
nobody's
I'd
ever
like to hear.
heard.
Like to hear stories of when she supported the band.
Oh my
When the
God, man,
band had
she's
no money, she was the one that financed them in their early days, and without that, I don't think they would have gotten to where they needed to be. Like where Al Cooper saw them. Without Judy, I don't think they would have been able to get there.
But she ate, drank, slept with the man, and she's seen him at his worst, seen him at his best, and a lot of people, they don't realize that she's got a bunch of stories. If anybody wrote
It's
a book, it should be her, for
it's
crying
like
out
when
loud.
I met Skinner and restarted my life. When Skinner met Al Cooper, that's what restarted everything with Southern
Yeah,
rock. Without that meeting, changed the life of Lynyrd Skynyrd, 38 Special, Molly Hatchet, Blackfoot, Outlaws, you
yeah,
know, um,
yeah.
and
Al Cooper.
everybody that listened to Leonard Skinner music and learned things off of him. Like I've heard Brad Paisley say that he learned a lot of licks from Skinner, and he's a good guitar player. Brad is, you know.
Yeah, Al Cooper's the man.
Yeah,
Sounds of the South.
without that meeting, or without Ed King, that got me. It's just one little incident in your life can change a lot of people's lives.
Yeah,
It's
and
amazing how that happens.
she was like really supportive, of him. So
So theoretically, without Judy, she changed a lot of people's lives.
yeah, yeah, I tell you what, man,
You
I'd
know?
love to be able to sit down and have a nice conversation with her, because she's, and I guarantee you she wouldn't have a problem. She'd probably, be cool to talk to. I mean, I'm on the outside, all that other politics on the Leonard Skinner stuff. That's none of my business, but I would love to interview her somehow. I would really, I mean, you know, probably never would do it, but I'd like to have an interview with her. Then the last comment, Jimmy J from the comments says Chattanooga, Tennessee would be a great location for Lynyrd Skynyrd Battle of the Bands. You got I-75 north and south. You got I-24 east and west. And the Barrel House Ballroom would be a good place to have it. Well, I don't disagree with that location. It is centrally located, and I'm open to suggestions on all that stuff. But, you know, I it's one of those things you got to throw it out there and see who bites on it, and also if the people that are in the tribute bands aren't interested in it, then it's a no go. If they don't if they don't want to be a part of it, if they feel like, that they don't want to do it, I mean, you'd have to get it from them. So I'd have to get in touch with them and see what they think about it. But that's the last comment there, Craig, and happy Monday, happy trails.
Yeah. Yeah, podcast 296, and we got 4 more to go till podcast 300. And this has been the grumpy old man, Craig Reed, a.k.a. the Stone Roadie, and my co-host, the rocket scientist, Griff Martin. And until next time, happy trails to you until we meet again, and see you later, alligator, at the wild crocodile. And we'll call that a wrap. Cut.